Star here. Welcome back to the channel. It's a little bit different format today. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be comparing this Sony a6100 as a vlogging camera compared to the Sony ZV-1 that I have just rented from Lens Rentals. So I got about for 4 days, gonna test it out, run it through the paces and see how it does. So we're gonna go out and about today, and we are going to use both cameras as vlogging cameras and see which one does better. So make sure you guys stay tuned. What's up, guys? I am recording on the Sony ZV-1 right now, and the first thing that I noticed picking this camera up, it is so much lighter than my Sony a6100. I feel like I just throw this thing a mile. I'm not going to because I don't want to pay for it, but yeah, this thing is super light right now. So compared to the a6100, I can just, the a6100 by no means is a heavy camera, but just in comparison to the two, it's just insane. So real quick, just going to talk about the setup. If you guys watch my last video, you guys know what the vlogging setup that I have for the Sony a6100. I'll just go through it really quick. It's the obviously the camera body, the kit lens, and the BOA MM1 mic with the Sony ZV-1. I am just doing the camera with its little dead cat attachment right now. I'm just doing audio straight out of the camera because honestly, if you're going to be buying this camera as a vlogging camera, I'm going to assume, I might be wrong on this, but I'm going to assume you're getting this because it's small, compact, small footprint. It's not very intrusive, so that's probably one of the main things that you're going to want this camera for. So I'm going to use it how I think most people use it. Obviously, you can attach a mic. I'm just not going to. So I'm going to see how the audio just coming straight out of the camera with this sounds in comparison to the Sony a6100 with the full setup with the mic and the audio coming from the mic. So that's the plan. I have the standard stabilization, not the active. So the standard crops in just a little bit. I'm shooting 4K 24 frames per second. There's no stabilization, as you guys already know, on the a6100 except for the lens itself. So we're going to compare those two, see which one does better as far as with the electronic stabilization versus just the optical stabilization that is on the lens. So we're going to compare those two, see how it holds up, and that's it. So we're going to get going, so making sure you guys stay tuned. So now we're vlogging on both the Sony a6100 and the Sony ZV-1. We're going to see how the images look and just how the overall stabilization of both these cameras work. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's a little breezy out. It's a hot breeze because it's freaking hot out today. It's like 108 degrees. But yeah, so what do you guys think? How do you think the stabilization looks compared to the ZV-1 with the standard stabilization internal to the camera versus the lens stabilization on the a6100? I don't know, I can't really tell until I get into the computer, but we're going to go into the shade real quick because it's freaking bright right now. Okay. So yeah, they're both, I think this one, the Sony a6100 has a little bit wider field of view just because this one is cropped in a little bit due to having stabilization on. But that's kind of the strength of this camera a little bit, is it does have some stabilization for the camera versus the Sony a6100 it does not. So it's going to be cropped in a little bit more. I'm not going to do the active when it comes to vlogging just because it crops you in so much, and then at that point it's kind of pointless to use it as a vlogging camera when you're cropped in so much, in my personal opinion. So what do you guys think? I don't know. cameras are starting to get a little bit heavy. I worked out this morning, so my arms are already on fire, and they're starting to get that way right now. The left, the 6100, a little bit more so than the right of the Sony ZV-1. So, alright guys, we're gonna get moving, and we're gonna do a few more tests, and then we'll have a final conversation about both of these cameras. Alright, so I checked the playback on the last little vlogging test that I did, and even though I have both cameras at the same settings, auto white balance, standard picture profile, shutter priority mode, everything is set exactly the same, but for whatever reason, this camera, the Sony ZV-1 that I'm recording on right now, it looked a lot, when I was in the sunlight, it looked so much more blown out than the a6100 did. The a6100, the auto settings, I felt did a really good job in making the image look as good as it can, even though it's bright as hell out right now. But the Sony ZV-1, again, it was just blown out for some reason. So what I've done right now, I have put on the built-in, or set the, turned on, however you want to say it, turned on the built-in ND filter to see if that helps. That is definitely one of the perks of this camera. Another one that it does have is you can use the built-in ND filters, which is nice. You don't have to worry about buying an additional piece of gear and accidentally forgetting it, or having to take it on, put it off, put it on, take it off, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's definitely a positive. Alright, so we're gonna go out and run a few more tests, and then we're gonna wrap this video up, so make sure you guys stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Here at Walmart, waiting for my groceries. Last little errand I gotta run. So right now I am vlogging on the Sony a6100. Yeah, I just want to give you guys enough footage to kind of see the differences between these two cameras. One last little test I'm gonna do just what I call it a B-roll test, just kind of, you know, video a couple shots, or get a couple shots of some, you know, scenery, something that has some good color, just so you can kind of compare the two images, see if there's any difference. The only thing I'm not gonna do an autofocus test, because they both have the same autofocus system. The only difference between the a6100 and the ZV-1 is the ZV-1 has the new eye detection autofocus and video technology that the a61 nor the a6400 have. So yeah, that's the only difference. So I trust both of their autofocus systems, so I don't really see the need to do that. So anyways, so we'll do that final test, and then we'll wrap this video up, and I will give you my feelings on both of these cameras as vlogging cameras, and which one I think is the better option for you. Alright, we'll see you here. Alright guys, welcome back. So that was the final test for both of these cameras. So I'm going to go over what I think of this Sony ZV-1 along with the Sony a6100, which one I think is the better option when it comes to being a vlogging camera. As far as the ZV-1 is concerned, there's a lot of things I love about it. I love the image quality coming out of this thing. It's not quite as sharp and detailed as this camera, the a6100, but it's damn close. It's definitely more than good enough. Another thing that I love about this camera, I love the flip out LCD. I like it a lot better than the flip up LCD on the a6100. I'm glad it has some sort of thing, flip screen, but I definitely prefer the side flip LCD. I'm glad to see they kept that as what with the Sony a7S III that's coming out. Hopefully that's something they're going to regularly do on their future cameras they come out with. The last thing I really liked about this camera, I liked that you have the built-in ND filters. I have several ND filters, none to fit the lens I have on this camera right now, but I have several ND filters, and they are a great tool, but it's also a pain in the butt to switch them in and out, so it's definitely nice that it's already built in the camera. Now, some negatives that I don't like. When I was doing the vlogging test earlier between the two, I didn't like how, even though they were the exact same settings, it was extremely blown out. I didn't like that. I don't know why that was like that. I just don't understand. It makes no sense to me. So that was disappointing. Another thing I didn't like as much. I know it has a stabilization on it, but I can't really notice as much of a difference. And I don't like how much it crops in, especially when you do the active. It crops in a lot. I think it's almost like a 35mm equivalent, or pretty close to that when it crops in. So at that point, it's almost useless as a vlogging camera, in my personal experience, my personal opinion. And the last, and probably the overall deal breaker for me, is that it has a fixed lens. It's a great fixed lens, but I like the versatility of having the option to change my lens out and put different lenses on. I just like that versatility. I know that's not for everybody. Some people want a camera they just pick up, turn it on, and shoot, and that's fine. But I like having that versatility. So even though it's a little bit bigger form factor than this camera is, I still prefer this as my main vlogging setup. Now, that's not to knock this ZV-1. I think this is a great little point and shoot camera, and who I think this is for is for the person that just wants to have something small and compact to go out and vlog with, to take pictures with, to take videos with. You can even make some cinematic images with it, as you do have all the S-Log and HLG Cine 4 profiles on this thing, so it has a lot of versatility. Also, I feel like if you're wanting to start, having a YouTube channel and making your own content, I think this is a great starter camera if you want something that's going to have better quality than your smartphone. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe that's an idea for another video with this thing. Compare it to iPhone, see which one wins. That might be a good idea. Stay tuned for that, guys. So I think it's a great starter camera. I think you can do a lot of different things with this. Again, with me, I just prefer having the option to switch my lens in and out. I like having that versatility. So that is pretty much my comparison between the two. Honestly, don't think you can go wrong with either one, whichever one you would like to go with. If you're on the fence and deciding, do I want a ZV-1 or do I want something that's a little bit bigger, that's still a decent price where I can change my lenses out. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what you can expect from both of these cameras. Alright, so anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If there's anything you guys want to see, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see, and we'll see you guys at the next video. Have a good one.